And joining me now with more is Tim Bone. He's a chief market strategist at stockstotrade.com. Tim, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, great to have you here at the stock exchange. And what do you make of this market chop?
Well, a lot of what we do at Stocks to Trade is short-term trading, whether that be day trading or swing trading. And at the end of the day, long-term shareholders don't really like it. But when you're looking for those short-term market moves, this volatility, whether it's, every 5 minutes there's a different Trump tweet making something happen, but it creates opportunity for us, especially since we particularly trade, hot sectors and themes and heavily weighted on technical analysis.
And what do you see as the trading opportunities amid this volatility?
Well, I kind of have three main ideas. The number one is, the AI bubble, as everyone seems to love to say these days. But, my opinion is that everyone likes to call it a bubble, but a bubble is just a bull market that you're not participating in. Okay, everyone likes to hate on these stocks as they just go up and up and up. And I'm a big believer in trend following, big believer in riding those trends. And especially now we've got this dynamic shift in a lot of these very speculative AI plays, the RGTIs and the Palanters and et cetera, where people are just loading on the short side. So if you ever wonder why these stocks dip and then immediately rip back, it's because I think the biggest second leg of these moves is all of these short bias traders that are trying to what we call guess the top, because they want to catch that move to the downside, and they're just creating more fuel to the upside. So now we have the hottest sector out there, plus short squeeze scenarios playing out. So biggest theme is AI for sure.
So it sounds like you think the market does have room to run.
Yes, 100%. Listen, it's one of those things where is it the right thing or not? But we know that the president has his eye on the stock market every second of the day. He says he doesn't watch it, but every time it starts to dip, he tweets about it. He's obviously watching it. We've got midterms coming up, and whether it is right for the economy and right for the people, I just think there's going to be this constant pressure to keep the stock market moving higher, particularly into next fall. After that, the chickens might come home to roost, as we say in the Midwest. But I just think very bullish for the foreseeable short-term future.
Okay, so you do think the market's going to go higher. My next question is, though, does the choppiness remain? Because in this backdrop, we're at the beginning of earnings season.
Yes.
The government shutdown now in its third week. We're not getting economic data reports, and trade tensions, a re-escalation of those trade tensions is back in the forefront.
Well, my thing is, especially when it comes to the trade tensions, I'm unapologetically patriotic. I think that I've seen in my lifespan, my father actually fortunately retired, but his company shut down because of offshoring. I think it was one of the dumbest decisions arguably in the history of American business. I love the reindustrialization of America. And I think that while there will be short-term pain around trade wars and tariffs, it's going to be jobs, industry, back to America, and all of that should have never left. So it might be rough short term, but I think long term, it's the best thing for the country.
What happens with volatility from here?
I think it's going to continue to go up. Okay. So now again, some of your viewers might not like that. They open up their long-term accounts and they're like, what's going on today? But again, what I do, what I trade, and what most of our members at Stocks Trade do is we trade short-term volatility. So the wilder the moves, the bigger the reactions, the overreactions. I mean, you look at last Friday, just a complete overreaction. I was actually on Schwab TV and I was like buying the dip last Friday, but that creates opportunity if you know how to trade and not necessarily look in the long term when it comes to volatility.
Okay, so you mentioned AI earlier. That's a sector that you're trading. Before the segment, we were chatting off camera about military tech and rare earth. What do you like about those sectors?
Well, what I absolutely love about the emergence of military tech, and big Joe Rogan podcast favorite. I've watched listened to every episode. Palmer Luckey was on there from Anduril yesterday. I can't wait to watch it on the plane back. But what I love about this is you look at all of these young people. It's Gen Z. They're very patriotic. They're very interested in the security of the company and the safety of the country. And they're basically using AI to skip college, go straight into industry. And it just kind of reminds me, big student of history, you look at the Apollo programs and the moon missions and all of that. A lot of people don't know the average age of engineers was like 26, 27 years old. So I see all of these people like Palmer Luckey creating the Eagle Eye and drones. And it's just an amazing, patriotic, and, amazing because they've got, AI in these things. They're using quantum computing. So it's just a game-changing tech. So
what else is on your radar?
So rare earth metals, I know it's kind of a played out idea, but we're getting a little bit of pullback in these plays. The metals company, TMC, is one that, again, Sean Ryan podcast, one of the founders was on there the other day. He's talking about how finally American companies are able to compete with China. Well, it's getting there. It's not quite there yet, but it's opening up where it's not just exclusive to China to be able to refine and actually go out and extract these minerals because of the Trump administration opening this up. So all those American rare earth plays, very bullish as well.
All right. Tim Bowen here in studio with me, of course. We're going to be waiting on that Fed decision. You
Yes.
think the Fed cuts rates at the end of the month?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier, whether it's the right decision or not. I just think that the president is going to continue to put pressure on Jay Powell and make his life terrible until he does what he wants. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. But I just think he's going to get bullied to continue to cut rates. So I think it's basically a lead pipe lock, as they say.
I do think, the market's still pricing in a rate
Yes.
cut at the end of October. Tim Bowen, he's a chief market strategist at stockstotrade.com. Joining us, I think you mentioned Tim from the Midwest. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Great to have you here in studio.
Thank you.